They say doctors are trained to heal, to stay strong, to never get too close. But what happens when the healer becomes the one who needs healing? This is the story of Dr. Michael Hayes, a doctor who had spent years behind the white walls of St. Helena Hospital. To everyone, he was the perfect doctor, calm, intelligent, and endlessly devoted to his patients. But what no one knew was that behind his calm smile lived a quiet emptiness. His life had become routine. Work, patients, sleep, repeat. That was until Emily Carter walked into his office one rainy afternoon. She was in her late 20s, soft-spoken, her smile fragile but beautiful. She came in complaining of chest pain, but what caught Michael's attention wasn't her condition, it was her eyes. They carried sadness, but also something rare, hope. "Don't worry," he told her, gently placing his stethoscope against her chest. "We'll figure this out together." From that day, everything began to change. Emily became one of his regular patients. Her illness was serious, but her spirit, her laughter, her way of finding light in the darkest moments started to pull Michael out of the lonely rhythm of his life. They began to talk, not just about medicine, but about life, about dreams, about all the small things that made life worth living. Michael found himself waiting for her appointments, staying a little longer just to hear her speak. One day, he found her sitting alone in the hospital garden, wrapped in a blanket, her eyes lifted toward the evening sky. He walked over and handed her a cup of coffee. "Decaf," he said with a small smile. "Doctor's orders." She laughed softly. "You really think coffee is my biggest problem?" "Maybe not the only one," he replied. And for a brief moment, the world around them disappeared. No hospital walls, no illness, just two hearts learning how to breathe again. But fate wasn't kind. As months passed, Emily's condition grew worse. One night, after a risky surgery, Michael stayed by her bedside, unable to leave. The monitors beeped softly in the background as rain tapped against the window. "You're going to be okay, Emily," he whispered, holding her hand. She opened her eyes weakly and smiled. "You always say that. But what if my heart just needs a little love to heal?" Michael's throat tightened. "Then I'll give it all the love it needs." And for the first time, the doctor who had healed so many others realized that love itself was the strongest medicine of all. Weeks turned into months. Slowly, Emily began to recover. The day she finally walked out of the hospital, sunlight spilled across the hallway like a blessing. He stood there, watching her, proud, relieved, and hopelessly in love. She turned to him, her voice soft. "So, what happens now, doctor?" He smiled, eyes glistening. "Now you live. You live beautifully. And maybe we see where this heart of yours leads us." She reached for his hand, their fingers intertwining as they walked together into the morning light. He had healed her heart, but in the end, she had healed his. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow for more.